Okay, so Eric and I woke up to the earthquake. Probably, I think it was at 8:30. I think it was at 8:30. 8:29. This house is raised off the ground. So we've already felt a few earthquakes here. They were smaller. I think they were like in the 4 range and they weren't centered, I think, so closely. And those you could kind of feel shake the house just a little bit. But that you could really feel. So our first mission was obviously when you wake up and you realize that it's happening, you know it's an earthquake. And the house was shaking pretty bad. So we just bolted outstairs. Eric jumped the steps. And thankfully our cats were smart and got outside first. And then of course we helped our dogs get out. So everyone's fine and there's no real crazy damage. I mean, some water here and there, some things fell over. But these jars are really strong, so.
Show how far those fell from.
Yeah, so they fell from all the way up there.
Yeah, all the stuff that didn't actually fall fell off the top shelf.
But most of it didn't break.
Some of the small stuff like grain and stuff just fell in the sink.
So if you guys saw my kombucha project, that's what it looks like right now. Pretty good. My scobies ruined. There was a scobie in there, but she didn't survive it, so that's a bummer. But really not that bad. I think if no one died and no one got hurt, in my opinion, that's good. So it sucks, but it's really not a huge big deal.
Feel it right now. Okay, it's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and we just had an earthquake, and it was a big one. It was a 7.2, and as you can tell, some stuff started falling down. Happened about 8:29 this morning, and obviously we felt it and woke up, and everyone's fine. We all got outside, but we definitely had a little damage, and we're still feeling some aftershocks. But all the neighbors don't have power, but we do because we have solar. No, everyone has generators running. You can hear them, and yeah, we're just kind of sitting around listening to the news.
Okay, so this isn't going to be like one of our normal fun edited videos. It's kind of an unexpected event. Eric's been over there responding to family members and friends and stuff.
Yeah, we have family all over the world, actually. And seriously, and everyone's just making sure we're okay. And yeah, the dogs are fine, as you can see. We've been listening to the radio.
So Eric and I just finished cleaning up the kitchen. I remade our SCOBY juice, or SCOBY liquid. I'm hoping it's going to be okay. You can see that 2 of them have rehydrated and one's floating. There was a new one that had started forming on top, but it got damaged, unfortunately. So we got everything cleaned up and put back up. There was a lot of glass, kind of shards just everywhere, so we had to sweep and, oh, that's not really much in there, but some stuff fell that I didn't realize. And then one thing that happened was our coffee had spilt over here, and I cleaned it up. Honestly, you guys, this house was a mess yesterday, so it probably didn't help that we had a huge earthquake this morning. But I just want to show you, everything looks good now. So I'm just gonna pick these cans up real quick. I just want to point out too, I'm not trying to make this like a big deal because a can falling over is like the least significant of anything. I'm sure individuals were injured and all that. We've been kind of listening to the radio all morning to see what's going on. It sounds like everyone's safe, but there's definitely some structural damage and road damage for sure.
Pepper. So this is our small cat. This is Pepper, and she keeps running away and coming back because we've had a bunch of aftershocks, and I think they said on the radio the biggest one was like a 4.9 or a 5. So it's still shaking pretty good, and it's been like almost 4 hours since the earthquake happened. 3 hours, 4 hours.
Yeah, the cats don't like it very much. I don't blame them. They get pretty scared. Our dogs, you saw, are not too disturbed. But yeah, the cats get really upset. So it's a mess up here, but this is a very brief overview of what our loft looks like right now. So like we have nothing up here that could have been damaged, just stuff went flying. When Eric and I felt the earthquake, we woke up, heard the dogs like dancing around here, and we pretty much knew we needed to get out of the house. It's a cabin that's built up because of the snow, so it feels, so because the house is built up for snow, things are kind of like magnified, the feeling. So we both like hopped out, tried to run down these spiral stairs. Eric jumped the ledge, left me hanging out here by myself.
At least I didn't push her down the stairs. Okay, so we're gonna head outside. Wasn't really any damage out here, just a little bit in the shed.
And we don't have electricity. We have solar, so we still have power.
Here's our panels.
Nice. But I know there's a lot of people without electricity right now.
I knocked the snow off one this morning because it started to get sunny. But yeah, this is the only damage we had out here, surprisingly. One box of jars fell. I don't know how nothing else fell in here, but...
It looks a little jumbled, but nothing broke.
Actually, that's just pretty much how it looks.
Our neighbor came over this morning.
Check on us.
Road, and he said that he's lived here for I think 45 years. I don't know how old he is.
His whole life.
He's lived here his whole life, and he said that it's the biggest one he's felt. And I was looking up, there was another really large earthquake closer to 8 near Kodiak earlier this year. Earthquakes are really, we've felt a lot here. Usually they're really small. So the owner who built the house knew that he needed to build appropriately for that. So thankfully we are safe and everyone's fine.
Yep.
And again, we're just keeping tuned to what's going on.
House is still standing, and then the bone broth that we've been cooking over the fire, thankfully didn't fall over. It did slosh over the side, but yeah, everything's doing good out here. We're just gonna kind of...
One thing too is your well. We haven't checked it, but most likely the well water is gonna be not good for a few days. I don't know if I mean not good, but there's probably gonna be like sediment and stuff in there. So yeah. Thankfully we have our drum filled up inside. One thing, we weren't necessarily like overly prepared for a huge earthquake, but I think that we in general try to be kind of just prepared in general. So we're happy we have electricity. I think we have water. We have a full gas tank. Thankfully, there's been stuff saying that. Yeah. I think people are getting a little wild out there. Unfortunately, that's what happens in a crisis.
Yeah, we have extra gas cans full of gas, and we have 2 generators full of gas, and plenty of firewood, and plenty of food.
Yeah, we do. None of that was damaged.
And we have no need to go anywhere. So, like I said, we're just hanging out here today, anyways.
So, is there anything that you would have changed to Fort? Like, if we known this was coming, is there anything you would have done different or had prepared?
No, because earthquakes are really weird when they happen, especially when you're sleeping. Like, my immediate thought was that the dogs were doing something, fighting or something down here. It was crazy. And then we realized what it was. And yeah, like I said, we didn't grab nothing. We just went, boom, outside. Took the dogs and went outside. And outside's the safest place for us here because there's nothing that's going to fall on us. And we have a big cleared area.
Yeah, I know for most people, maybe being under like a desk is probably safer, but for us, again, that was the safest thing. I personally, thinking back about it, probably would have had maybe like water bottles. Again, we're really like we have water storage and we have a well, so there's like this thought that we just have like a continuous supply of water. But it's probably smart to have some extra. And we do have water, but just not more than like 60 gallons. So it'd be nice to have some water bottles. And like Eric said, food we're fine. Power we're fine. That mount for the solar panels did fine. And I'm pretty sure that's the worst they're going to go through, hopefully. Another thing too that it kind of sounds like on the radio, and it'd probably be smart, and in Alaska, because it's so cold, and you get condensation in a lower or empty gas tank, you may want to have extra fuel, but at the same time you don't really want to have fuel just sitting around. So we don't have really extra fuel just sitting around. We have a full tank in our truck. Maybe wise to consider in an emergency what we would need to do to have gas if we needed to like leave, or if you were maybe like in Anchorage and you had an empty tank and you were driving, you were stuck in traffic and you couldn't get to a gas.
Yes, some of the gas stations are closed.
Yeah, some of the gas stations closed.
Yeah, not all of them are open.
So we keep having aftershocks, and I just realized this pot, that's about how much it shook off. So maybe exposed shelving is not the best thing for a town that gets earthquakes. I'm really glad that didn't fall off. I'm pretty sure that would have broken. What Eric did was went through and just pushed those all towards the back.
Okay.
This is like crazy. We keep feeling aftershocks over and over and over again. They're pretty strong enough to vibrate things again, and just we keep feeling them.
So if you guys have been following our channel, we live in a town, or near a town called Willow, and the earthquake, what's it called, the epicenter? Epicenter?
Epicenter.
Epicenter of the earthquake was in a town called Palmer, and driving, it takes a while to get there, but if you were just air miles, we're only
less than 25 miles.
Yeah, we're like over the mountain range, and you're where the earthquake happened. So I think that's why we felt it so much here.
In the house too, because of the house. I think if you're in a car, they say you don't feel it as much. I mean, I'm pretty sure you would have felt this. I'm sure the roads changed after this one. But yeah, so we were close, but it just sounds like there's a lot more damage other places than where we're at. So we're just not trying to go out. And I mean, everyone around us is fine and safe. The neighbor's safe. So that's really all that's important to me, at least. And
they're saying on the radio, we don't know for sure, but they're saying no one was hurt. That they're telling parents to come pick up their kids because the power's out.
Yeah, I don't want to spread misinformation, so you guys can look the information up online. It was probably near 7, maybe a little over, maybe a little under magnitude at 8:30 this morning. The tsunami watch was just like a precaution, but there was really no chance of that happening now, at least, or that was updated. No fatalities, hopefully, I'm sure. Just maybe some like loose animals and, you know, interior damage. And
water pipes in Anchorage
pipes,
are blowing, and a lot of...
There's another aftershock.
Yeah, we just felt another aftershock.
We probably feel like 20 now.
Yeah, it's crazy. And there's just all the powers are out.
I think some of the power's out in a lot of
the big towns. Street lights are out.
And just kind of a reminder too, I know you guys know this, but we've been hearing a lot of hecticness. A lot of people freak out in crises, which I understand. But I think the most important thing, like I know when we woke up to that shaking, and we felt earthquakes before, not this big, in our lifetime at least. All you really care about is just getting somewhere safe and getting your animals to safety. Like everything else is just insignificant, truthfully. And then assessing everyone else's safety. So that's the most important, not being mean and trying to run people over and things like that, and get to wherever you need to be.
Okay, so to all our friends and family, we're doing good. It was a pretty big earthquake, and it was kind of cool that we got to experience something like that in our lifetime. But
I don't know if that's the word I would use.
I don't know. Anyways, we're signing off, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, you guys can probably see lots of videos online. Unfortunately, we didn't grab a camera when it was happening.
No, we didn't even grab pants. So, see you guys.